Nvy Yrd chats.
Nvy Yrd chats. But not in the controlling way.
Not yeah.
That's
you said something about roles, which make me want to bust in the room, put mics down, fucking rip shit off the fucking wall. The fuck you mean a role?
What do you mean? What the fuck I mean a role?
That's a lot.
Y'all don't have role. Your husband doesn't have a role to play in your relationship.
This is why I'm gonna say I'm 60-40 on it, because I'm still a DC chick where everybody got a role to play, and if you ain't playing a role in my life, why you here?
But are they only bound to those roles only?
But that's
which is another contradiction.
It's not a contradiction. It's humanity.
This is why I said this is a contradictory thing within me. It is.
Honest.
I don't see it as a contradiction. I just see it as part of living life and being a man.
Because it depends on how he is saying roles.
Exactly.
So if you are expecting me to come through the house after work, put on an apron, cook dinner, rub your feet, have this and that type done, like you want me to fall into a role,
listen,
you ain't gonna find that.
There are some women who actually prefer that. So for you to be derogatory about it, it's really just
I'm not being derogatory of it. I said if you expect me.
But you also said that everyone is an individual and can have an individual perspective, right? So there's nothing wrong with those men who do have that expectation any more than those men who don't. Why do you elevate one person's expectation over another?
Why would you
condescend to those who have that expectation? Or do you not?
I was never at any point condescending. I said self-identifying phrases as me come through the door, or expectations of me, and how I see roles. Not here for that. But here's what I will say before you started feeling like I was about to be your enemy, is again, everything is based off of communication. So if that is how you conduct things in your relationship, that is the roles that you agree to have, and this is how you identify to have roles, then I'm not going to shit on your motherfucking brick. Because as I said, I am a dominate, and I do expect certain roles to be played. And I expect certain contracts and binds and different things to be adhered to.
So I have a question. I have a question for you.
But
you really are, because you just said you have expectations of roles. I said expectations of roles. How are yours different than mine?
How are they different?
Other than what you prefer versus what I prefer.
Because you walk into it with an expectation as a air, like we were.
Where did I say that? I said roles, period. And you said, how did he say roles?
That's exactly what I said. I said exactly how do you
what I said
roles?
Was role and structure, presenting me as some kind of Neanderthal traditionalist. But in reality,
I want to say Neanderthal Cro-Magnon.
So I didn't say that. You projected that on me. I said roles and I meant roles.
And the first thing that I said in that was, it depends on how you are identifying roles.
Okay.
That was I know how to use
I know how to use word choices. It made your ass itch. I want you to itch your ass.
The word itself. And then I said, hey, I'm gonna
you said me saying roles made your ass itch. And then you turned around and said you expect roles. So you make your own ass itch. And they don't even agree with each other.
Yeah, that's life.
And for real, she actually changed the whole. She brought a whole different kind of foundation to the conversation, which is the one good thing Chris did today, which is bring somebody who is honest.
Chris does a lot of good things.
Brought another.
But here's the thing:
perspective that actually
Chris expected you to already understand that foundational things can happen between multiple identities, but I didn't know how to explain that to you, so I brought somebody who was willing to.
I'm glad didn't know how to and was.
Oh no. I just didn't feel like
you weren't able
because you can read my papers and you can do so.
Well, we're gonna move on to this next topic. First, before I move on to the next topic, though, about roles. Rob, did you get your answer done for roles or
no? No, I gave an answer.
Okay.
And she made her ass itch.
So we got a response for roles.
I mean, I was in this motherfucker with a Brillo brush, like keep your mouth closed.
No, you don't gotta keep it closed. I need to hear.
But I mean, you gotta be even though. You can't just crush nobody. You know what I'm saying? am by nature, what's they call that, EPN or whatever, I am a debater. That is
and the point is,
and I'm not. You can just read my work.
The question was about me. The question was about what made me comfortable. So I'm talking about what makes me comfortable. But what made me comfortable made her ass itch before she decided that she couldn't say.
Because I heard the word. The word was triggering.
Hold on. Z, did you answer the question?
And keep the raw. Keep the real. Keep the real. Keep that she's saying. Keep it. Keep that.
I want people to see
she's phenomenal.
Because I want people to see that we come over to eat because we may be hungry. I can't right now.
I've been busy this weekend,
and to be real, I've had to sit down and explain so much to people over the years for so long. I'm done explaining. You can read my shit and then come and have a conversation.
First, we'll get conversational narcolepsy.
Like, and it's not a point of like arrogance. It's a point of tired.
It's a little bit of arrogance.
But as a form of educating. But
I'm done.
He came to the chat to say, "Read my shit."
Like, no.
I get what you're saying. It can be exhausting.
It's so exhausting.
But the thing is, when you educate, when you put that cap on, you're always the educator. So even when you're like, yo, I'm explaining like self-explanatory stuff, you still have to be that.
This is why we have guest lecturers. It's because you're tired. Because you're tired. Something that the like non-monogamous community doesn't understand is that they can still legally be protected without the like moniker of marriage, because marriage is still so monogamous.
Well, we learned from our LGBTQ brothers and
exactly.
sisters on how to make things happen and make a way when there wasn't one.
Exactly.
There's always got to be a leeway in the beginning.
It's always an exception.
And there's got to be.
But hold on.
Go ahead.
So my question to everyone, but specifically to Z and Chris, if you could answer, because you're polyamorous and you are
ethically non-monogamous,
which we got to work through.
We got to work through it, maybe possibly. But I thought it's doing well for her, right?
Yeah, no. Like just off definition.
She's married.
I've had a talk about like why does somebody boom boom?
I love
because I think there's a restriction of what polyamory is.
But hold on,
that's a different conversation.
But this is my question though.
Yeah.
So, what are some perpetual issues that you have to face, you or your partners, that you had to either figure out how to get through together, or it just was repetitively coming up or coming about? Like, what are some things that seem benign but they just keep coming up?
Definition creation, understanding where points of view where you're coming from, creating boundaries, whether they be physically, sexually, emotionally, or mentally, communication styles, what time spent means for somebody. It could mean that you're spending time together in a group of people, or you're spending time together by yourselves. It's really nothing that's outside of any other relationship structure outside of the fact that in a society, sexuality determines whether you're monogamous or non-monogamous. So if there's only one thing a lot that we have to focus on, is creating an understanding of what the act of sex means to each other, and then moving forward from that. That's for me, because I've had less conversations about what it means to be emotionally there for somebody than what it means to have sex with somebody else. And it's kind of frustrating, because at some point my dick's not going to work no more. So why are we talking about this? Like, just move forward. Like, there's other things in life that are important.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
So I really had to do some self-reflection on that question. And for me, I think that the problem that I encountered most within my ethically non-monogamousness and other relationships is myself. I definitely had to look at myself and how I was receiving certain people's behaviors, or how I was responding or acting, or how I was dealing with my own shit. You know what I'm saying? It really was me. Definitely with double standards. I definitely carried a lot of feeling like, other people were getting to be this or do this and that, and I wasn't. But that was because I was putting those boundaries on myself, which is again why I feel like roles and shit like that makes my ass itch, because I was fighting to stay within certain perceived roles that I had to break away from to realize that that's a choice and pressure that you're putting on yourself, not that others are. So once I did more self-work, and my therapist talked to me about how I quote-unquote handle shit, but my handling shit is sweeping it under the rug or putting it in the closet, and then when the shit come tumbling back down, or I trip over it, I create these problems in my relationship, or I feel as though others are creating these problems in my relationship. So what I got better at within all of my relationships, and with everybody that I engage myself with, is being more direct and more communicative about how I'm feeling in those moments. Once I was able to do that, so many of the other issues that were being created, I started to see, you the problem.
Self-reflection.
Self-worth. So I haven't had a problem in any of my relationships in so motherfucking long. Let me tell you something. My girlfriend recently passed. I told you I have partners, 5 partners, and she died of breast cancer in November this year. So we're going to, I'll be in Atlanta in November this year. We're having a memorial and stuff for her. But it was beautiful because her husband was there. Her mom pulled all of us up. 5 of us, her husband and her other partners. We all put something in her casket. She identified us as her partners. We all got to like share in this moment, and it really made me realize these are the people that I choose, that choose me. So regardless of anything that we come into or come across, or I'm having a hissy fit because I'm jealous right now, bitch, you still matter. Why you mad? Because they love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is self shit. You can't make that about other people and be like, what issues are you having in your relationship? You know what issues you're having in your relationship? You're not figuring out what the fuck is going on with you.
You mentioned earlier about like the time trees that you have.
Yes.
What is that, and like how do you structure a time tree with like so many partners that you have, and able to like set aside time to spend with them or to do activities or the whatever connection or emotion that you share with that person to show like your love or your commitment to that relationship or bond?
One, me and my husband being nested partners really have to make a commitment to quality time. I call it QT. I definitely set QT aside with my other partners as well, but him being my nesting partner, it's very acute that we do that, because what we don't realize is phone time isn't necessarily time together. Being laid in the bed and both being on the phone, or being in the kitchen cooking, like we give so much of ourselves to other people.
But it's not like an intentional.
But we have to make sure, and just because you live together
doesn't
equate that to just because y'all been together all week. Okay, I seen this nigga for 2 hours. Like, I got a job, he got a motherfucking job.
We can be together and still 8 hours absent. Out of that. Like, you can be together and still absent.
And absent. So we have to make sure that we put that quality time in. Like, okay, what you got this week? What we doing? I'd be like, all right, well, I'm about to be home. Are we making this and that dinner together? And we doing like phones down, like real time. I'll be like, I let my other partners know QT with Lewis is on, like, it's going to church. Like, I'm not available for a bunch of now, I'm always available to you if it's something that I need to be called upon. Yes, but if it's something that I ain't really gotta, like, my notifications and shit is off. My phone is off. Like, this is quality time. Me and my girlfriends, we set quality, even though it's 5 of us together in this polycule, I still do individual calls and check-ins with them. I literally was just talking to Lisa, checking on her brother that's in the hospital, is dying, this and that, seeing what her emotionalness was. What was that? I spent time with Angel talking about this proposal thing, and make sure we do like these individual, Angel and Renee, and we do these individual things, to make sure that we have individual times together. When I go in and I fly to Chicago, I fly to Texas, I fly to Atlanta, we do individual stuff. Now with the time tree, for me and my girlfriends, because my girlfriend Madison is a fucking project manager, and she has to make sure that everything in our fucking lives is scheduled and regulated all the fucking time. If I am doing something, it needs to be on the calendar, because she wants to know I'm going to be at a rooftop until 6 a.m. in the morning, because I'm going to get a text like, bitch, did you make it home? Did you make it home? Hi, we haven't heard from you.
Google Calendar?
Me and Lewis used Google Calendar. Me and my girlfriend use Time Tree.
Okay.
We got flights. We got different stuff. It's also how you stay active in somebody's life in a way. Like, so-and-so's going to prom. Such as has a date with so-and-so. Like, I can look and be like, okay, bitch is busy this month. Okay, I know what's going on. Even if I haven't talked to her this week, I know what her week looked like.
With all of those time commitments and those different partners, do you feel exhausted, or like do you feel like
bandwidth and saturation? Bandwidth and polysaturation is a very, very real thing. It's one of the things that made me take a look at being polyamorous versus ethically non-monogamous.
What do you classify the difference as?
So this is where I classify the difference as. For me, the struggle I found in my polyamory was the emotional commitment, the emotional taxation of it all became a bit heavy for me, because the people with polyamory, the identification is loving, committed relationships. That's a major part of the title of polyamory, is that loving, committed relationship. I'm not going to be in love with everybody. I can love you, but I'm not going to necessarily be able to give you the same type of commitment that you're giving me or expecting from me. I had to stop and be like, you know what? Because somebody tried to trash me on like how I conducted our relationship. My partner of 2 years that we broke up, and he said that I discard people easily.
I know somebody else is like that one.
Yeah.
So, I know somebody. I ain't gonna point no elbows.
Is it true?
She ain't ethically non-monogamous.
She be throwing
She
people away after one day. Don't text her after midnight.
I'm all right. We picked each other up as a buddy, but now we 2 years in, hanging out with kids and families and shit. Like, we clearly done moved past buddy level, but for them, once they broke my boundaries and I said, I don't want to do this no more, they were, you discarded me. You just, no, I told you broke my boundaries. I don't want to do this anymore. And I stopped doing it.
Right.
I'm well within my right to be like, I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
But I started thinking about it. Damn, he's kind of right. Like, I'm promising you commitment. I'm promising you this lasting, loving thing, and da-da-da-da-da. Like, there's tons of shit my girlfriends then did that I've definitely been like, I'm too fucking about to, I'm mad at you right now. You know what I'm saying? But we are able to work past it. But that nigga, I was like, ain't no, I don't.
I've never seen consensual non-monogamy and polyamory as two different things. I've seen consensual non-monogamy as, or ethical non-monogamy, as a blanket for all the different type of non. I've never seen polyamory that it has to be that emotionally intensive.
But that's why, remember I told you
But
last
shit has
night when you
changed.
said partner, you made my ass itch.
Yes.
Because for me, like,
That's always interesting.
listen,
People make her ass itch.
people can make, I am
First of all,
old
why
school.
your ass itching so much?
Listen, I am Maggie Memphis' grandchild. I am that Southern Comfort, nasty nice, like, you know.
But I've run into it like so much more recently, Z. Like in between, like somebody was like, all right, so there was somebody I asked out on a date. She's like, I have to talk to my partner Ashley, but I was like, no, you don't. Like the fuck, that has nothing to do with you and I.
That's their agreement.
Yeah, that's you know what I'm saying.
You
No. They have no agreement.
What?
They have no agreement.
If she said, I need to speak to
No,
my partner,
they have no agreement. They have no agreement. They have nothing. There's nothing in between them at all. She said, I'm consensually non-monogamous, so I have to talk to your partner.
Oh, she wants to talk to your partner.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they wanted to talk to their partner.
No. So I was confused.
Oh, she's trying to define your boundaries.
Exactly.
Oh, you can't do that.
So this is
you're not allowed
where
to do
it got confused because she was like, I'm consensually non-monogamous. I'm like, so am I. But she was like, you're polyamorous. I'm like, wait. There must be a new generation of motherfuckers.
There is the poly practice. Oh my God, that term kills me.
So what's the term?
The fucking, what do you mean, like the poly or a poly?
Poly,
What the fuck you mean?
Just what? Wow, you gonna love this.
How you gonna reject people?
No, shut up. No,
you
it's not even
asking for acceptance of the crazy shit you might have heard of. Now you want to discard
it's not
a
that.
subset of your group.
No. It just came out of nowhere because
you can't write this.
No, it's not right. It was a point of like understanding for me where I was just like, oh, wait a minute, we're doing the same. Why did you feel like you had to talk to my other partner in order to get permission to talk to me?
And that's her boundary for her.
Exactly.
That's a confidence.
Exactly.
Well, bitches do too, but nobody be like, let me talk to your husband.
Yeah,
that's her boundary.
So what
in our communication, I was just like, yo, you can more than welcome. Please go talk to my partner. But it was the first time in a long time that somebody was just like, I want to see how your first of all.
But then it becomes an issue where he has to talk to his partner about a stranger.
When we don't have that agreement.
But those are her
we don't have that agreement.
And if
so basically, you got to cut it off with her then.
And then
if you don't want to.
But that's the dilemma you at then.
Because I respected it.
Yeah,
I respected it because when I came back and said, hey, you don't have to talk to this individual, so on and so forth,
but
A, B, C, D,
like
and G. But they would like to. Hey, fine. I'll give that to you.
But now you crossing the boundary of your existing
partner. No, because I went to my partner. I was just like, hey, so-and-so would like to talk to you to get clarification because we're all friends anyway.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Which is why she wanted to do that.
Right. Yes. So I was just like, cool. Respect the boundaries. Respect the boundaries. Cool. At the end of the day, this is the point, and this is where the whole like difference between polyamory and consensual, like people have turned consensual non-monogamy into its own thing, which it is, but they don't see it as an umbrella for all these other things. So it's like expanding up. But a lot of these young ones,
identify myself
right,
as that umbrella.
because you could go this way. That's why you're RA, because you could go this way, this way, this way, this way. I'm gonna give myself to it. Me, I'm not RA. That's too much
What's
energy.
RA mean?
Relationship anarchist.
Okay.
And the crazy thing about like relationship anarchy, people think anarchists don't have rules. Even anarchy has rules. There is no
it
thing
just doesn't fall into.
It's not a normal rule.
Exactly.
It's like an outlier.
There's
an outliner.
Yeah.
There it is.
I tell you,
Would
Robert.
you prefer if we identified as outliners?
Relational outliers is fine with me.
Okay.
We're
going to create a new term right
because
now.
if you're an
today.
actual anarchist, you would have no rules by definition of
so
anarchy.
Robert Merton's theory of like society is like there's 4 boxes. He took it off the Mendelian ideology of it. But then you move to the outside, and these were the anarchists. There are people who are that are outside of the system. But the crazy thing, it's still hit within a circle, which is the existence of humanity. So they still operate in rules. There is nobody that absolutely operates outside of a rule. Period. So the most anarchist motherfuckers, they still have
embrace
rules.
So you embrace
Everybody embrace rules. There's never been rules, but I don't want the rules to be contingent upon just one mindset or this. The rules are just
they're fluid.
The rules can be changed unilaterally.
No, all rules, and what you're trying to get back to is this, and I don't believe this is an asinine point at all. People will always have the opportunity and the choice to feed or accept a rule regardless of the promises that they make.
To feed or accept?
To feed into or accept the rule regardless. People have the ability to change their minds. So what you're trying to
abide by.
Yeah, that's the point.
Or reject.
And they can accept it at one point. Yeah, they can accept it at one point and they can deny it at another point. So when people talk about they're looking for stability, the only stability in life is change. So buck the fuck up and be ready for shit to change or get broken. And that is the key. It's not that there's no like stability. The stability is be ready for change. And that has nothing to do with consensual non-monogamy. That has nothing to do with polyamory. That has nothing to do with monogamy. That has to do with life. Shit's gonna change. Grow the fuck up and let's go.
And frankly, lots of people who are monogamous.
You're serial monogamous like shit.
They operate in a poly way.
Oh, that's called cheating.
But the point is that they have that's what you call cheating.
No.
Wait a minute. Through the prism of monogamy, per your definition of monogamy, because they could say I am monogamous, but I also
it's up to the agreement that they have.
Right?
It's up to the agreement.
So if I apply your liberalism
it's up to the agreement
to monogamy, the reality is that there's many monogamists who operate in poly. I know people who are monogamous who sleep with more partners than people who are poly.
Yet again, you're degrading non-monogamy to just sleeping.
And that's the other thing I wanted to say. I'm going or have relationships because it's not just physical. Okay. It's not just sexual. To me, it's relational, and parameters around relations because is what's core. It's what's key. Because if there's no parameters around your relation, then to me, you really have no relation.
Do you think non-monogamous people can be cheated on?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely. If they have put parameters around their relationships with other people that define cheating as whatever they define it as, they have now gone to the term I've used multiple times. They have violated fidelity to the agreement. So my whole point has been, if you got no substantive agreement, you cannot have fidelity or infidelity.
Absolutely.
One of the questions that hasn't been asked is, what made me choose polyamory?
Let's go.
That is a good question. Thank you.
Excellent question.
So, within your conversation on the structure of it and how things are done and how you view cheating and not cheating and all that type of stuff and monogamy and ethically non-monogamous in general, right? I was identified as polyamorous by the people around me. They are the ones who told me that I was polyamorous. For me, it's never been about having multiple partners or about having multiple sexual partners or about having any of those fucking things. None of that shit crossed my fucking mind. The only thing that ever crossed my mind since the beginning of time, since I was 14, because I want to do what the fuck it is I want to do. My freedom means so much to me, and I want to do what the fuck it is I want to do. I didn't have a long coming out story or, some type of any of that type of shit. My mother turned around and was like, is you and her? And I was all like, oh, that's my girlfriend. She was like, I figured it was fucking something. Like, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like, came home, was like, your daughter gay. And my dad was like, I don't give a fuck. She can't have babies and shit. It's fine. Fucking get drinking a beer and fucking going about the conversation. It was so fine. It was no problem. Same thing with polyamory. It was sitting in the motherfucking house watching MTV and they were doing an episode on non-monogamy, and my fucking aunt and my aunt and my now husband was like, bitch, if that ain't you. And I was like, what the fuck you mean? And they was all like, and then I was thinking about it, and I was all like, yeah, I mean, kinda. Okay, I can see where you're going with that. For me, it's not about multiple partners or about multiple sexual partners. For me, it's about, you're not judging me because I'm out at a baseball game with Kelvin. Mm-hmm. Outside world is saying us that I can't hang out with Kelvin and be married. That's it. There is so much judgment on how many hours a day I spent with Kelvin as a fucking male friend that I have to face. My husband has to face the persecution of, what do you mean she at a Giants game and you not? Who she with? You know what I'm saying? I didn't travel all over the place. I got invited to go to London with somebody that, just was like, hey, so-and-so canceled. You want to go to London? In monogamy, shit like that is not cool. They treat you so bad for just being able to have your individuality and freedom that you can't exist without this person that you chose to be your person. I need space to exist as Zakiyah. Point blank, period. And if the outside world is telling people in my life that I am not committed to them because I am committed to me, I'm not monogamous.
I love it. Z is dope, by the way. Z is dope. You are dope. Chris is defensive, but Z is dope.
That's just his protectors coming out. I get it, man. I get it.
Chris not explaining shit to people anymore. You can read Chris's shit.
Read Chris's shit.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, we had a great conversation. You all tuned in. We're going to close out with closing remarks. We're going to have Z, and we're going to come around the room.
You can follow me on social media at PollyNite, NITE, out on Instagram and on Facebook and on Snapchat. I run a polyamorous events group with my other partners. We throw social events where we do parties, karaoke, meetup. Like, we take it off the message boards and not just talking, but we actually get to hang out without the pressures and see that everybody is regular people. But everybody that comes has respect for each other. If you're non-monogamous, if you're LGBTQ, if you fucking identify however you identify, I have a space for you. I'm going to Z space. As a conservative, monogamous, maybe, I don't know, because I actually support polygamy. I support polygamy and polyandry, and for those who choose that, right? I don't see a problem. I think the key for me is what I want to say on behalf of normal people. You can't make statements.
I know,
like
it's
normal
terrible.
people.
It's intentionally provocative.
We're going back to my asses itching again.
Y'all get to say some talcum powder.
Somebody don't give me fucking something. This nigga's fucking gonna make me need preparation.
It's okay. My name is Rob Hall. You can find me at Hall Street Journal on social media. I want to just say that, and Z said it in the beginning, which is what made her story so intriguing to me. Marriage is an institution, and marriage is a powerful and potent institution. And even people who choose ethically non-monogamous relationships can honor and respect the power and the strength and the stability and the value of marriage. And marriage is a commitment.
Absolutely.
And it is a commitment to standards and rules. And to me, yes, rules. To me, because even anarchy, as Chris said, has rules. So the reality is that I think the greatest witness for the strength of the institution of marriage are probably what I consider the most liberal, sexually liberal people in the world, which are gay men. I just think
what?
Gay men are the most liberated sexual persons in the world.
What?
And because, as a man, I can't imagine that whole situation, right? But gay men in America chose hey, you're not just gonna keep
What is he
pounding
doing?
and stuff. You're gonna marry me. A man was in a bed with his partner, who was a man, and said, "We're not just gonna do this over and over. We are going to get married. We have love, and we're gonna get married."
But women get married.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
But
we
that was
edited
already
this.
established by society. And I'm gonna finish.
Rob, you make
If
my
I don't get interrupted, I'm gonna finish. So here's the deal: gay men fought all the way to Supreme Court.
Stonewall. Shout out to Stonewall.
They fought all the way to
That was a trans in the bitch.
to Supreme Court to get the right to embrace the power of this institution called marriage. And for all you polyamorous who embrace marriage, I support you and I salute you. Be blessed.
I'm gonna get some talcum powder and shake it on his ass.
Gay men rock with me. Gay men are with me on the street of marriage.
Oh my God.
So it's kind of hard to follow that. That was like, golly, that was like days of listening. That's what it felt like. I'm not kidding.
It was a lesson. It was a lesson.
Thank everyone for coming. I really do appreciate you guys coming. Thank you for visiting. Hope you'll come back again.
Thanks for having me.
We'll bring your drink of choice next time. Just tell us and we'll blow a little bubble.
Not tequila. What is it?
We'll bring
Whiskey.
Oh, whiskey.
Whiskey.
Actually, it's cognac. I'm a Remy
cognac.
girl.
Ooh,
I'm a Remy girl.
I like it.
Remy
I like
boys.
it.
I'm mad at
Yeah.
for this, so we'll get that for you next time, okay? But thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
The most enlightening part of the entire conversation is coming to understand that there are middle grounds between where everybody stands. As much as there seems to be like apprehension and contention and all of that, it's really jokes and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love each other.
And
He's
I just
some
think
asshole, man.
he is the most important. That's why I love him to death. The most important part of all of this is that we're all learning something new, and that we're all coming to a place of understanding of where people stand. Now, admittedly, my patience is thin.
Oh my.
Narcolepsy level.
Come on, because I will fall asleep when I hear ignorance, and I'll just tell them to read my papers. And by the way, if you want to read my papers, you can Google Chris Smith polyamory. All of them will show up. It will have an entire introduction from how polyamory or non-monogamy has been a historical fact up into how it has some type of prominence up until now. So
I also wrote a 10-page paper in college about polyamory.
Come
That's
on.
how I got into it.
So
Oh God.
I may not be the one to sit here and explain shit to people, but I'll tell you to read my paper, and then you can have a conversation with me because you're coming from a certain point of view.
Yeah,
I'm
the
going
great-
to seize for all you polyamorous women who are looking for a husband, holla at your boy.
I know a lot of polyamorous women that are looking for a husband.
Who
I
want to
know a
get
lot.
married
And have babies
Holla at your
and
boy.
all those things.
Bring
I know
them
a
on.
lot of them.
But they probably
That's
just
who
gonna
holla
suck
at
dick
me.
on the
That's
side,
who
so you
holla
gotta
at
be
me.
okay with that.
The women
You
that
got-
hire me, they want to get married.
But they're gonna suck dick on the side. You cool with that?
No.
So what can they do on the side?
I'll get on the side. They can suck my dick over there. Suck my dick on the side and the middle and in the back and on the top and the bottom. Goddamn it.
So he's a one-penis policy.
He's an OPP.
It's
So
okay.
he's
an
one
OPP.
penis policy.
There are people that practice
We not
OPP.
ain't no.
Closing remarks. It's a great discussion, great conversation as always, great guests. Tune in for the next time. Hey, and cheers, Nvy Yrd chat.
Cheers,
That's
y'all.
it. That's
All right, hold on.
Cheers.
But I make it.
Yo. No, y'all can move to the side.
Over there too, bitch. I'm in the middle and on the top and the bottom.
Like this president.
It's just us.